black shirt, white cat, and I need a haircut. And neighbors decide to ride their motorcycles at 10:30 at night. Might as well. How's it going out there today, everybody? I hope you're having a good one. I know I am. My name's Garrett, and if you're new to the channel, I shoot reviews and tutorials on camera gear and accessories that I use every single day. And if you saw my episode last week, I actually edited my whole video on my iPad using LumaFusion, which I did back in the day whenever I first started YouTube. But that's because I was waiting on all my parts to come in for my PC, which is right back there. And oh my good golly, she's a beast. Gonna talk about that here in a second, talk about the parts that I used. Let's go ahead and hop on into it. Okay, so we're back, and I wanted to talk about something really quick before I get down into the parts list for this build, which I do believe will edit 6K footage. I've already tested it with 4K footage, and it has no problem rendering, exporting, scanning the timeline, whatever. But, you know, first off, I want to talk about what possessed me to even build a PC in the first place, because I have not had a Windows-operated device since about 2011. 2012, I think, is when I bought my MacBook Pro. And 2016 was when we bought the desktop iMac that I've been editing on since. But really, Millie, no. But really what it all came down to for me was the price point and the value that I thought that I was getting from the Mac versus a PC build. The Mac that I really want now, that I would have to upgrade to in order to do the things that I want here with editing and things like that. Now, for normal PC operation, the Mac did great, but when it came to editing 4K footage, I really couldn't do it. It had a long time trying to export even 1080 videos, so it was getting to the point to where I needed to upgrade. But when I started looking at Macs, the ones that I wanted for the specs that I needed were between $8,000 and $10,000. Which was absolutely ridiculous. And I've known about the PC world for a while. I've just been a little bit scared to get into the actual building of a PC, which is why I called on my good buddy Jared to help me assemble that one back there. But that was really the deciding factor for me to make the switch back to a PC versus upgrading to another Mac. The other thing for me really was the upgradability and future proofing of a PC. Now, I know that the new Macs, you can actually, you know, interchange parts now, whereas with the one that I had, I couldn't even do that. It was pretty much set in stone with the parts that it had. But with the PC, whatever you start with is not what you have to finish with. There's already some pieces in here that I do plan on upgrading very soon. We'll talk about that here in a second, but let's go ahead and dive into the actual specs of this editing rig and why I believe it will edit 6K footage. And I just wanted to let you guys know too that I have the links to all the parts below. Now, these are affiliated links, so if you click on them and buy something from it, it does help me out a little bit, and I greatly appreciate it. So yeah, you can see the whole parts list down in the description below. So starting with the CPU, the brains of the operation, I decided to go with a Ryzen 7 3700 build. It's 8 cores, 16 threads. Don't ask me what all that means. I just know that it's super duper fast. My buddy Jared can answer the technical questions that anyone may have. For the motherboard, I ended up going with an MSI B450 Tomahawk motherboard, which once again, I don't know what any of that means. I'm not a PC guy. I've had Mac forever now, so I'm new to the PC world, but I am loving it. For my internal storage, I actually went with the Samsung 970 EVO SSD. Now, it is 500 gigabyte. That's the first thing that I probably do plan on upgrading is my internal storage. I'm gonna upgrade it to a 1 terabyte. Not that I absolutely have to have 1 terabyte, but it's good to have if you need it. 500 is enough for now though, because I do run external hard drives as well. Reading from my list here, for the RAM, we went with the Corsair Vengeance LPX, 32 gigs of RAM. That's actually gonna be the second thing that I upgrade. I'm gonna upgrade it to 64 gigs of RAM. Once again, just having more space in there to operate the programs definitely helps on the RAM if you do have them. For the graphics card, we went with an MSI RX 580. Now, it does have 8 gigs of memory on its own, which definitely helps with processing power. Not everything is put on the actual processor of the computer. Some of it is handled by the graphics card, which makes it run a little bit faster. I absolutely love that about this graphics card. For the case, which is the one back there, pretty clear sides, nice, just clean looking case. We went with the NZXT H510. Now, they do have it in different colors. You can get white, black. You can get black with no red stripe. I got the one with the red stripe. For the power supply, we went with the EVGA, completely modular 600 watt system. That was one thing that I was advised to get, was a modular system. That way there wasn't a bunch of wires just snaked into it. So it definitely helps with wire control and definitely helps keep the case look clean on the inside. For the monitor, I actually have two monitors right now, but the one that I'm using is the ViewSonic VA2719. It's a 2K monitor. Now this is more of a consumer style monitor or a business style monitor. The one that I have sitting over here on the floor is actually the VX version, which to my understanding is more of a gaming / media type monitor. So I've thought about opening it up and testing it, but to be honest, that monitor right there I really think looks good. It has a good image, so I may end up taking the VX model back. Let me know in the comments below if you have experience with the VX model, and if it is better than the VA, we'll give it a shot. But the last thing that I had to have to complete this editing rig was some good sound. So for the sound system, I actually went with the Logitech Z533 with sub. It's a 120 watt power system. Comes with your control. Your volume control knob back here has a bass boost on it. Very clean looking system as well, and it absolutely kicks. I love this. You have to have good audio when editing videos. You know, audio is half the battle whenever it comes to putting videos out, and it feels good to have a great audio system. So those are the specs of my build. I've not had a lot of time with this computer, but I know enough to tell you this. When it comes to editing 4K footage, I absolutely love it versus my Mac. Now, obviously, you can buy a Mac that will do the same. That will edit just as fast, but the price that you're getting at is going to be a whole lot more. For this whole rig right here, I'm in about $2,000. Like I said, for the Mac that I would want that could do this would be no less than about $8,000 to $10,000. So it's great with 4K footage. I can skim timelines, I can render 4K, I can export 4K very quickly. Haven't tested 6K yet because I don't have a camera that shoots 6K, but according to the specs that I have, it should be able to handle 6K footage, no problem. So that's the thing that I do know about this PC. Also, it feels good to change it up sometimes. Definitely gives me something to talk about with my buddies that are PC guys, because they've been telling me to do a PC build for a while now, and I finally listened, and like I said, I'm fairly happy. So I'll keep everyone in the loop about how my experience goes from here on out. Like I said, so far I'm satisfied. But anyways, I want to know your guys' thoughts down in the comment below. Are you a PC person? Are you a Mac person, and why? Would love to see that. And also, as always, subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. I love growing this community here on YouTube. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you in the next.